Okay, this is the first racking after 2 weeks of the blueberry wine, and basically what we have is a lot of sediment down in the bottom. It's a little bit easier to see down here. It's kind of a whitish film. This is basically dead yeast and any other thing that happened to float down to the bottom here. Also, you can see the marbles that we put in. They just show up as little, looks almost like indentations, but those are just actually where the marbles are touching the inside of the glass. But anyway, I'll go ahead and show you how I filter the wine next. Okay, there are a couple of things I use to filter my wine with. Firstly, we have this coffee filter here. I like this type. I do not like the paper coffee filters because the liquid does not flow through adequately. I picked this up at Publix. I'm sure you can pick it up at your grocery store or maybe a Walmart. It's just a reusable coffee filter. Also, I made this container here. I guess it's for bread. I just took the end off of it here and fed it at the end with now this is hot glued on. It is part of a Mountain Dew ball. The top I drilled a hole through and drilled a hole through the bottom of the container. Hot glued that together. That way if I want to filter it into a Mountain Dew bottle, I can, because it already has a connection for it right there. Otherwise I just let it drain on through. And the last and probably one of the most important parts of filtering is this polyester fiber fill. It's actually for pillows and, as you can see on the package, stuffed animals and stuff like that. But this stuff works just phenomenally well at filtering wine, and I'll show you how that's going to work out. And it's cheap too. Anyway, here's how it all comes together. Okay, this is how I'm doing it. I have a towel draped over my knee right here. I have my little glass between my feet right there that I'm going to catch the wine in right there. I have my container right there. And the first thing I'm going to do is put some of this polyfill down into the bottom. By the way, polyfill floats. So if it gets down to the wine, it's going to be on the very top. You'll see it. You won't drink it. I mean, you'll get it out because it'll just be right there. I'm going to stuff the very bottom of this with the polyfill, and then I'm going to put my filter right there, and then some more polyfill down inside the filter. And when I take off the top off the wine and start pouring it in, I'm going to pour it right inside where the coffee filter is, and it'll drain through the polyfill, through the coffee filter, through some more polyfill, and then down to the container. And I do have an extra container I can use in case that one fills up. I'll just watch all of this anyway, and we'll get all that stuff out of the bottom there. We're just going to basically take the good juice off the top and try to leave as much of that as we can inside as we're pouring. But if any does happen to manage to pour out, then we'll be catching it down here. As I was pouring, some of it, the stuff in the bottom of anyway, it came up to the top here and kind of mixed around. If you can see that, I think you can see it about right in through there where it's a discoloration. That's actually the stuff coming up off the bottom. What I'm going to do now is just let it sit for about 5-10 minutes, let all that stuff ease right back down to the bottom, and start pouring again. Okay, the juice has been poured out into the containers. You can see down there, there's one of them. And there's the other. And the jug I used, I took the marbles out that were in it, sanitized the container. Got some fresh marbles that I've been sanitizing for the last 2 weeks. Washed them. So they've been washed twice and sanitized once. And I'm going to pour my wine back into the container and fill it up the rest of the way. so that the headspace will still be up high on the container. And here we go. Okay, as you can see, I have the gallon jug topped off. All the juice is back in there. I put the marbles back in there to displace the liquid. Now I'm just going to put my rubber bong back on, like so. And that's basically how I rack my wine. I'm going to rack it again next week about this time, and I'm going to show you the siphoning method for racking your wine. It does a pretty good job also. Either way will do. It's your wine, so you can do what you want. But until then, see you next week.